Dear friends, welcome to the channel The Eastern Front. Today we will talk on a very important topic about why Red Army captured not all Germans and their allies. But unlike Germany, in the Soviet Union there were no written orders for doing so, and everything was decided by unspoken rules. In the troops, German snipers were often didn't eliminate the target, but wounded in the stomach or kidneys, so that the victim didn't die immediately but suffered. Besides, the wounded fighter was used as a bait, because his colleagues or doctors, who could also be shot, would come to his aid. Therefore, German snipers were not captured but shot on the spot, allegedly while trying to escape. The flamethrowers of the Wehrmacht were also not taken prisoner, as they used scorched earth tactics and caused indescribable suffering to Soviet soldiers. The German flamethrowers had a pistol with them, so that if necessary they could destroy the flamethrower and shoot themselves. SS soldiers and officers were also extremely rarely captured. SS units were distinguished by atrocities and inhumanity. They burned civilians alive in the occupied territories, carried out racial cleansing, and tortured people to death with extreme cruelty. Therefore, if there was a situation when an SS man could be captured, he hastily cut off all the insignia and posed as an ordinary Wehrmacht soldier. However, almost every SS man had a tattoo of a blood group under their armpit, and the soldiers of the Red Army knew it. Hungarians, also known as Magyars, were allies of Hitler during the war and fought on the territory of the Soviet Union. They also tortured the civilian population, so much so that after the liberation of another village from the Hungarians, the Red Army soldiers were thrown into a cold sweat from what they saw. The surviving people said with one voice that Hungarians were worse than any German, so they were not captured often. The issue was resolved on the spot. Traitors from the Russian Liberation Army of General Vlasov were also not taken prisoner. All through, there were few clashes between Vlasovites and Red Army soldiers. After the surrender of Germany, most of the Vlasovites moved to the American and British occupation zone in order to avoid reprisals at home. But in accordance with the decisions of the Yalta Conference, almost all of them were handed over the Soviet authorities. As a result, as traitors should be dealt with, the entire officer staff of the Russian Liberation Army was executed. However, there were other cases when the Soviet soldiers deliberately didn't capture soldiers of the Wehrmacht. For example, the Soviet intelligence found out that the painful execution of Zoyka Smedemyanskaya near Moscow was carried out by soldiers and officers of the 197th Infantry Division, namely the 332nd Infantry Regiment, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Ludwig Ruderer. A real hunt has begun for the soldiers of the 197th Division of the Wehrmacht. When the Red Army soldiers found out that this unit was in front of them, they fought with a vengeance. The division was completely defeated in 1943 in the autumn battles near Smolensk. The few surviving Germans reported that of the direct participants in the execution, by the time of the defeat, just several people remained alive. Among the belongings of one of the killed officers, the Red Army found 5 pictures of the execution of Zoyka Smedemyanskaya. The commander of the 197th Division, Ehrenfried Oskar Bege, was captured by the Soviets and sentenced to 25 years. In 1955 he was handed over to the German authorities, where the general was acquitted and released. Dear friends, that's all for today. It was Tim in the Eastern Front channel. And as usual, I wish you peace and health. See you.